3, 2, 1, and we are live. Hey, everybody, this is Matt with Texas Toast Guitars, and this is our Sunday afternoon podcast that we do once a week. And to my right, your left is Chris. How you doing today, Chris?
I'm good. How's everybody?
How's every little thing?
How's you doing?
I'm great. You know, today I woke up and I was in a great mood, and I thought this was going to be a good day, and as it turned out, it was. So, yeah, right on.
You kind of sounded like what's his name from Fast Times? Ratner? Not Ratner.
Mark Ratner?
No. Did you have the tickets? Why can't I think
Oh, Damone.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know what the hell happened. I was in a great mood.
As you can hear, working the boards, as always, is Mrs. Texas Toast, taking whatever questions she feels like taking. We don't get them all, and that's okay with me because that's just sort of the way it goes. So she is as lovely and talented and working the boards like she always does. I know I'm repeating myself, but it bears repeating.
Well, you know, I'm not like jerky about reading stuff. It's easy to get lost in it.
It absolutely is.
And then there's a lag of what's happening in real life and what's happening. Yeah.
So as always, guys, if you tune in and want to ask some questions or give us some comments, which we absolutely love it when you do. Hold on, my finger was over here. It needed to be here. We absolutely love it when you post comments and ask questions and kind of get involved in the scenario. It's really fun. So anyway, what I'm driving at is if your thing doesn't get answered or whatever commented back on right away, it's not because it's nothing personal.
It's just how it works. If that bird doesn't shut up, I'm gonna go punch a bird.
You got a BB gun?
Can you hear the bird?
I don't know if it's
it sounds like a hungry bird.
So it's hot in the shop today, so we've got all the doors open and we're getting a little air. Actually, I got the pool fired up this week. It's going to be nice. It's way too cold for me to get in the pool right now, but it's going to be great.
But it's not too cold for cutoff.
No, it's cutoff day here. There's all sorts of good stuff. What was going on in the shop this week? We got a bunch of good stuff done. We did some paint work.
Mm-hmm.
I went to court. That was fun, and it's done, and that's really all I want to say about that. It's finished. It's over with, and so we can be done with that.
Mm-hmm. We put together 3 guitars. We got 3 brand new completed guitars that have been projects for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That was really cool. That's my favorite part.
It's always cool to see stuff come together. I know that is your favorite. So yeah,
it's a birthday.
It is. It absolutely is a birthday.
Well, it's the culmination of all that work, and then
like your gestational period.
Yeah, and now they're butterflies, flying free.
So we had a lot of visitors come over. One of the guys who came by early this week was Anthony, and Anthony has commissioned us to do a guitar with fractalization scorch marks. And I don't know if Anthony was the one who asked this question on one of the podcasts before. Have you ever done that? You've probably seen what this is they hook up like 2,000 volts in like jumper cables to one end of a board and the other end of the board and hit it, and it actually burns a path. It arcs through the wood, I guess is what the wood is, a resistor, and it makes all these cool I don't know why they call it fractal, but they call it some sort of fractally thing. And here again, I go using those big terms, using the words that everybody wants to know. But you've probably seen it on on your Facebook feed or something where they have wood getting burned and it makes cool like branch or vein kind of looking things.
Mm-hmm.
Not looking a dick though. Oh, maybe. Anyway, so that's going to be a cool guitar, and we're working on that. Our buddy Mike Learn stopped by.
He did,
this week,
yeah.
And he brought this guitar. We actually gave this guitar to Mike Learn. It's easily been 3 years ago.
Yeah.
This is a style that, and I'm going to skirt around this because the very first topic that we have is going to be very, very timely. This is a style that you will recognize that we made quite a while ago. This is so old. It still has a lacquer finish on it. And anyway, so but his daughter Micah painted all this cool stuff on here, and I thought it was really neat, and I wanted to show it off. So she's 18 or 19 and is really getting into. If you know who Mike Learn is, you know how sought after he is as a painter of cars and bikes and guitars and really anything. He does work for.
He does the Grateful Dead guitar.
Yeah. He does everything for everybody.
Jackson Grover.
Yeah, all those dudes. Yeah, absolutely. So anyway, his daughter's getting into it, and she did all the. This is all hand. It's not really pinstripe, or I don't know what
she did it with a brush. It would be considered pinstriping. Just
okay.
Yeah.
Well, especially looking at the pinstripes around the binding.
Mm-hmm.
It's stripey. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anyway, so thanks to Micah Learn, and thanks to Mike Learn who brought it by. Mike's going to be doing some pinstriping work and some gold leaf for us for a show guitar as well.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
We're looking forward to that one, to Chubby Cherry. All of our guitars. Sometimes, so when I first started Texas Toast, I started to write names inside the control cavities, and it was just for me, and so like one of the last guitars that we made we called Hillary Skank and Mini Pearl Necklace, and just stupid stuff like that I thought was humorous, and I put it in there, and it wasn't supposed to be something that you knew was there unless you knew where to look. Well, in the last couple of years, everyone wants to know what their name of their guitar is, and I'm kind of over it. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't do that for you. I do that for me. And people are like, I want to change the name of my guitar. I'm like, fuck, go ahead, change your name of your guitar. What do I give a toss what you call your guitar? So anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Oh, because that guitar has the words Chubby Cherry written on the inside of the control cavity. So
yeah, it got harder and harder to name them. And
On the guitar,
it's really supposed to just be something for me, though.
Itself,
Yeah. But like I say, it's something that I did because I thought it was because anyway. So if you have a Texas Toast guitar and you don't know what the name of it is very likely that it is written on the inside of the control cavity somewhere, and it's probably something stupid.
Mm-hmm. So, and you very well may not like it. We think it's funny as hell.
and many times I have no idea what stuff is. So anyway.
And once or twice a little Easter egg if the nonsense makes its way in.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's some stuff gets put in the control cavity, some treats. And so anyway, what else was going on? I actually got to do some paint work this week, and we've got a bunch of show guitars ready for NAMM. We booked our hotel for the NAMM show, and we were able to do all this stuff because of a little thing called our GoFundMe campaign. If you don't know what that is, if you go to GoFundMe and you want to help us get to Nashville, we are trying to raise money to do that. The whole idea is that we get to go to Nashville, stay alive when we're in Nashville, and make it back from Nashville, all without me having to, declare bankruptcy when it's all said and done. So we've gotten so much great response, and it's really humbling actually that everybody's been stepping up and helping us out. Even $1. I mean, or whatever you got. It's a really awesome thing, and so thank you to everybody who has donated, and I'm going to be sending out thank yous to everybody because there's so many people I don't even remember them all, and maybe we should just do a podcast where we just thank everybody who donated for that, because it's so nice. It's very, very cool of everyone to do that,
and we'll do our best to represent everyone as best as we can.
We really will. I will.
Well, I see a lot of GoFundMe's for poor pitiful me and stuff like that, and this isn't that. This is the opposite of that. This is we're gonna go and do something and do it right and be we're
gonna give it a hell of a shot.
Hopefully everybody that donates when we're done feels like they got their money's worth from us.
We're going to do a bunch of videos from the show. We're going to do some live stuff. I think we should take the mobile studio with us.
Yeah, we could do that. We could do
or a scaled down version.
Yeah, the late.
Yeah, we were talking about it's going to be like 8 by 10 and just have like a little.
Well, we were thinking we would have the live studio set up at the hotel, and we could have people come and do live podcasts from just like this, only from the Nashville NAMM show time. I don't know. We'll figure that out. It's gonna be super cool.
Should have it at the booth.
I don't know if we have Wi-Fi there.
But you could just record something and then make a video.
We absolutely will do that. Yeah. So anyway, thanks everybody who's helped us out on GoFundMe. If you want to help us out, help us get to Nashville, there'll be a link in the description below to do that. There isn't right now, but there will be. So on with the show, I guess, right?
Sure.
Okay, that's a solid 10 minutes of introduction there. One of the things that that happened this week was, and I didn't realize it had happened until I saw a YouTube video. The guy from Big D Guitars, I'm going to assume Big D, posted a video of his response to the Gibson video made by their new head of brands or whatever, Mark Agnesi, and it was called "Play Authentic." Did you never actually saw it?
I didn't see
you
it,
heard
but
some of it when I was
heard
watching
some of
it
it while you were watching it, and I was irritated.
And if you haven't seen it, apparently you can't anymore because Gibson took it down, or Mark Agnesi took it down, or whatever. Maybe the response that he got wasn't what he was hoping to get. So I'm going to open it up. If you guys have seen the video or know what I'm talking about, please send some comments our way. But
oh yeah, they're already calling him a puss and
ooh,
already.
Okay.
Yeah, Cheddar Compound, Bambozy, Dirty Knobs. They're
okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. The thing about that guy is I watched that video and I'm like, he sure seems a whole lot like the old CEO who, remember you were like, he puts on the jean jacket and tries to impress it. You're already Gibson.
Yeah.
You don't have to impress us with how neat you are.
And it's neat because it's Gibson, not because he's there. He didn't invent Gibson. He didn't make guitars.
Yeah.
He's a guy that works for Gibson.
Yeah.
And his incredulous attitude was just, it was ridiculous.
And in a video called "Play Authentic," he doesn't look very authentic at all.
I didn't see
You didn't
what
see
he
him,
looked
but
like.
dude, he is all hat and no cattle.
Yeah.
He's got this leather jacket and yeah, it's the pre-distressed Converse and stuff. And he's probably a really cool guy. But he sure came off like a dweeb in that video. And so much so that they took it down.
And there's better ways to get that same exact message out without coming off like a total dick.
Yeah. And I get it. You can say dick.
Well, yeah, I don't like to necessarily, call people dicks.
What about butthole?
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Okay. Yeah, butthole then. Yeah.
But, they act like everybody, certainly in that, anybody that plays a guitar owes a world of gratitude to Gibson just for being Gibson, whether you like them or not, and you damn well better because we are Gibson.
It is. There are a handful of companies who everybody who is a guitar builder owes a debt of gratitude to, whether they want to admit it or not. And Gibson's probably one of them.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, they have, it's an iconic brand that I mean, I think Gibsons are super cool.
Yeah. But for every Gibson, there's another company that almost pulled it off. It was almost there. In a lot of ways, it was, right place, right time. They worked hard at it. Nothing came easy. Nothing came free. But, I mean, it's, If they could have easily, and they've attempted to do this over and over again, screw it up really, really bad.
Gibson really has.
And we talked about this a little earlier. Yeah, how Gibson insists on shooting themselves in the foot over and over and over again with somebody's big mouth and with really poorly thought out.
One of the things that I have often thought was really, really funny, and I bet you there's a comment about it right now already, is how one of the things that saved Gibson in the late 80s had to have been the Appetite for Destruction guitar, which was, a copy of a signature model. And I can't remember, depending on who you talk to, that was Chris Deering or it was Max. And I want to say it was Chris Deering. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, because I don't know. But of course, that was a 59 Les Paul made in 84, 85. And now Slash has a signature model of a copy of a guitar that someone made. So he has a signature of a counterfeit of a signature.
That's right.
And you just wait until we make someone a counterfeit Slash guitar, and then they'll get really big, and then there'll be a Gibson signature of a counterfeit of the signature of a counterfeit of the signature. That'd be so sweet.
It almost came with Chris.
It really would. Chris Ernst dropped the fucking ball. Oh well.
Go, Chris.
Yeah.
Chris, if you're watching, well, he's not watching. Yeah, that's okay.
The first electric guitar that I ever bought was down at Wedgell's Music Shop here in town that sells a lot of musical gear, and it came down to a Strat and a Les Paul, and neither one of them were real Strats or real Les Pauls. They were. One was a Harmony, and I bet you the Les Paul was a Harmony too.
Okay.
but I couldn't decide, and I don't remember who he used for the Strat, but he's like, well, do you like this band or do you like Guns N' Roses? And I was like, I like the other band better.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then you're gonna want
it was Stevie Ray, wasn't it?
It might have been.
I think you've told me this story before, and I want to say
it might have been Stevie Ray. Yeah,
that's funny.
And yeah, so if you were into Guns N' Roses, you liked Les Paul.
But you know what though, Gibson is an iconic guitar, and there's so many cool guitar players who have played Gibson and still play Gibson that are they ever not going to be awesome instruments that people seek out?
Yeah, and
do you have to be hey everybody, if you make a copy or something that infringes on our trademark, we're gonna fuck you in the ass or whatever the guy said.
I feel the need to defend your brand.
Yeah,
every turn.
Remember when we talked about this? How Paul Reed Smith made his single cut and got sued by Gibson and lost. Well, no, he won. So Gibson lost because they're like, well, you can't trademark the no cutaway guitar. So anyway, I think as soon as you start cutting into Gibson's bottom line, which obviously Paul Reed Smith does, you're gonna hear about it from the accounting dweebs at Gibson.
Yeah.
I think we could make as many of these guitars as we could possibly make in a year, and Gibson would never know. It's not that we don't make these guitars anymore. This guitar is so old. It just got a new paint job. So anyway.
Well, and this is one of two. This is one of the thin ones.
Yeah, these are real slim. I'm not going to show you because I don't want the pickup to fall out and scratch the thing, but it's very slim. And what are we gonna do with this?
There's talk of putting it together and selling it for a deal.
You should show how thin it is and the headstock neatness and stuff.
Maybe we'll do that here in a little bit, but
before we put it up, because we're going to show another one off too, right?
Yeah, we'll show lots of guitars. But anyway, are there any comments about the that we should hear?
Oh, people saying like they got lucky and got Les Paul to work for them, and then we had that conversation about Les Paul being kind of a dick.
They didn't want Les Paul until they started to get their ass spanked by Fender.
Yeah, someone said that they were a good company before they got Les Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sorry for forgetting.
Yeah, I mean, so Gibson has made some really super awesome guitars, and they've had some boners too, and every guitar company has done that. And that's okay. I still love Gibsons. I think they're awesome. I love Fenders too. Don't be fooled.
Yeah. I was reading something the other day, and it was the ES 335 and 330 were instantly accepted and sold really, really well.
Yeah.
For and the Les Paul less so.
Yeah.
And
what about the Modern?
The Modern, no, but
really
the original Explorers and V's.
Yeah.
It was.
They kind of languished on the shelves too.
They built 100 Explorers in that first few years of that. That was. And V's, I think they made like 70 some.
Wow.
Or maybe it was the other way around. But
okay.
But anyway, it was that stuff just
less than
100. Yeah.
V's
so in a lot of
Explorers.
ways, they weren't a solid body electric guitar company. They were a hollow body, a semi-hollow body, and an acoustic guitar company. For the longest time.
Let's talk about that.
Time to accept.
I bet you that if you made an acoustic guitar that was shaped, that the body was shaped exactly like a Gibson Jumbo, no one would give a fuck. But you can't make a Les Paul shaped guitar and have them not freak out if you're a big company.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't mean that like the Gibson Jumbo or the Martin D28 Dreadnought style aren't just as iconic as the Strat or the Tele or the Les Paul, but seemingly every acoustic guitar is basically that. It's really hard to tell one from the other, especially for someone like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay. I don't understand. But and how does it work? So like Fender has trademarked the headstock and not necessarily the body.
Yeah, they tried to. I think they let it lapse or something like that.
And I think, and it's really okay because everybody still wants Fenders, given the hundreds of thousands of different fake Strats.
Mm-hmm.
Some good, some great, some sucky.
Yeah, most really cheap.
Mm-hmm. But I've seen a lot of Gibson shapes that have pointier horns. ESP comes to mind.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people at the NAMM show. Like, we're not going to have Les Paul shaped stuff at the NAMM show because, well, for one thing, we kind of want to show off our model, not somebody else's.
And we don't. It's not one of the standard things that we make.
Yeah,
we've moved on.
Yeah, and that's cool. I still love them.
You're so over it.
So over. I'm so far beyond that.
Yeah.
What is going on the? There's got to be something.
Yeah, you just keep going on and on.
Okay,
and
well,
on.
well, I'll be
So now
quiet
a lot
if
of
you
points that
interject
were, brought up are no longer relevant.
because I keep talking. That's kind of what I bring to the party, right?
I guess so.
Yeah.
We have a couple comments on favorite guitarists, I mean.
Oh, okay. We're gonna get to that.
Yeah.
So are we done? Or can we move on from Play Authentic with Mark Agnesi?
Well, basically, he's a pussy, he's an idiot, and Les Paul's a dick, but they're lucky they got him. I mean, I think it's pretty much summed up. I mean, everyone kind of has the same opinion.
Now, hold on. To be fair, I don't know Mark Agnesi. I don't know if he's a pussy or I'm for all I know, he's a really cool guy. I have no idea. I've never met him. But that video, boy, he didn't exactly come off looking like We
were talking about it earlier, and you're like, I wonder if he had permission to do that, or if
If he just went rogue.
what caused that? What precipitated that little outburst from him, which is kind of what it was.
Yeah.
And I think it started out as a don't buy Gibsons kind of rant, and turned into this, we're Gibson, you should bow down.
I almost think it was like, don't buy Gibsons because they suck.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh wait, the NAMM show's right around the corner. If we see anybody who's got a Gibson looking thing, we're gonna whip ass.
Yeah. And anytime, any guitar that has bears any resemblance to any Gibson that's ever been made, they owe a debt of gratitude to Gibson. Okay.
Here's my position.
I don't know what debt of gratitude to you, dude, because I don't even know who you are.
Well, that's just it. So I've heard stories about people going to trade shows and their headstock is too close to something, or this side or the other is too close. And I want to say that Han Guitars cut a bunch of headstocks off at a show because someone from Fender said, we're going to do something if you exhibit those headstocks. And I'd be like, who the fuck are you? Let me see some credentials. Let me see the fucking trademarks before I go hacking shit. I mean, he probably knew he was, making.
It's a good story.
Things, but
Well, and he was making full on phony stuff.
Full on phony stuff. That was
who knows?
Well, it's not phony. It's just he's using their everything to and that's whatever.
There's been a bunch of guys that will only show pictures of the guitar. They won't show the headstock, but that it has a trademarked headstock, and it probably even has a trademarked logo.
Yeah, and there's talk about that too. The only infringement would be on the headstock, the logo, and the inlays. Or something.
I think some Gibson bodies actually are trademarked because it some are and some aren't. So I don't know which ones are which, but I'm sure it would be. Yeah,
there was a guy that had a name similar to Fender, and as a guy named Fesker, which is close to Fender, if I wanted to call my guitars Fesker and wrote it out in spaghetti script, I think Fender would probably come after me at some point because that happened to this other guy.
Okay.
And I think his name was Fentner, Fenter or something like that. It was closer to Fender than mine is. But anyway, they wouldn't. They and it's like, it's my last name, man.
Yeah.
It's like when Thomas Dolby got sued by Dolby.
Yeah.
Oh, he did.
Name.
Yeah, you can't.
Look, it's on my birth certificate.
Yeah. Doubly.
Right then. All right. So anyway, Mark Agnesi, I'm sure his dog loves him, and he's probably a really good guy. Maybe he'll want to have beers with us. Maybe he'll want to talk about my ideas about how to save Gibson.
Yeah, we got it all fixed.
We got it all figured out, Mark. We're in your corner. We can fix Gibson for you.
We're gonna have to let you go, but
maybe. Yeah.
There's gonna be a significant pay cut.
Yeah. Anyway, so moving forward.
A little off topic.
Yeah.
Joseph Caswell mentioned that he saw the Flying V. Did he come over?
I don't know.
Which
there's been pictures of V's.
Oh, I thought it was like a secret.
No.
No, we have. Now that's the thing. We make all kinds of stuff. We don't make Les Paul shaped guitars anymore, but lots of people make V's, and we are one of the people who make V's.
And we make
there
stuff
are
that people ask for.
And
it seems to, you make one and you show a picture, and the next thing you know, you're making 3 or 4 or whatever. And and that's cool.
And we're small potatoes.
And as soon as we stop, as soon as the last V's done, we may not make another V for years. It was that way with
Les Pauls
and Jupiter Jets, and
Jupiter
we made a bunch of those, and we don't have any of those going now. And at one point, I think we had 3.
Yeah, we had a bunch
that were going at the same time. So yeah.
So
he also
keeps it
asked,
fun.
and I don't know if you know this or not, that aren't Explorer's shape trademark, and hence ESP having to change the shape on their better quality versions?
I don't know the answer. I mean, the Hamer standard was an Explorer shape, and so maybe they weren't, and maybe they are now. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what. Now, and guys, if you're making your own guitar for you, I think you can make whatever you want, and no one's gonna care. You know what I mean? As soon as you start selling stuff and start advertising that this is a model that you make, which is somebody else's thing, then you probably run into some headache if you make enough of them. But for the most part, I don't think it's going to be that big deal. Rickenbacker, I guess, is really aggressive about their going after people who make Rickenbacker style stuff.
Yeah, I've heard.
There's really only one Rickenbacker style thing that anybody would want to make, and it's not that stupid Pac-Man thing.
The band The Ventures came after me for selling a
Did they really?
Japanese reissue of a Mosrite Ventures model, and I got what do they call it? Well, they send a letter to me personally.
Did you got a cease and desist?
Well, I got you can't sell that. It's it's a word that I can't remember right now because I'm stupid.
Drink some more beer.
Yeah.
That will help.
It will.
It was contraband.
Oh.
Yeah, because it was an unauthorized.
Wow.
So I put a piece of electrical tape over the Ventures logo.
But you didn't do it. It came like that from.
Yeah,
okay.
Came, and I had no trouble buying it.
Yeah.
But as soon as it came time to sell it, I got all this stuff, and in the listing on eBay, I was like, "It's not a Ventures model. Boy, it sure would be neat if it was a Ventures model." Wink, wink. And the guy that bought it knew it was a Ventures model. Sure. But yeah, and I saw a bunch of people that happened to be there for a while, and then all of a sudden it stopped, and it was fine. But I thought, you're not endearing yourself to me by not allowing me to. Yeah, I'm not selling it as a real Mosrite Ventures model, and the whole Ventures
and it's
the whole
used
Mosrite
guitar.
thing. And the whole Mosrite thing and the Japanese thing and all that, man, that is so convoluted and so beyond anybody else's weird stuff.
Didn't Ed Roman own a bunch of Mosrite? Was it come from Ed Roman?
He did. No.
Oh, okay. So
this was just a guy, and it was actually the guy from Eastwood that does Eastwood guitars. Before that, he had a company called My Rare Guitars, and he would import and sell and buy and trade used stuff. And he imported like 3 or 4 of these Mosrites, and they had Ventures logos on them, and the Ventures weren't happy about it. So
here's my response to Mark Agnesi. You might be the coolest guy in the world, but I need to see the documentation that you actually own that trademark before I'm gonna not do something. Make it, you know what I mean? Yeah. So if you're gonna aggressively make moves to stop stuff, I'm gonna need to see some paperwork, buddy boy.
Booth 2001 Summer NAMM.
2001. We'll see you there. SmackDown. Chris Fesco versus Mark Agnesi.
Who are you gonna kick in the balls when you go down there?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because ever since I kicked Zach Wilde in the balls, I gotta move on. Yeah, bigger and better things.
I don't know how you
bigger
get
and
much
better balls. Yeah.
Kicking Zachy Wilde in the balls.
It sounds like you haven't given any thought to this at all.
No.
I'm shocked.
It's just going to be a free for all.
Okay.
I mean, maybe if Ted Nugent was there, I'd love to kick Ted Nugent.
Really?
Just so I could say I did it.
Wow.
I mean, he's bigger than.
Who would, if you kicked Zach Wilde or Ted Nugent in the balls?
I don't have a problem with either one of those guys.
No, but who would kick your ass the hardest, the firstest?
I think Zach Wilde would.
He probably has the reach.
Yeah.
Ted Nugent. Although Ted Nugent might have the reach because he has like a 10 millimeter. He has a Glock 20 and he just like throw down. Yeah.
But he's a little older.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Luckily, that's never going to happen either way.
No.
Like, hello, Mr. Wilde. Thank you, Mr. Nugent. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's move on. Okay, so we're at the halfway mark. Let's move on to the actual cool thing that we want to talk about, and that's our favorite guitar players.
Being that it's halftime,
Yeah. You want to switch guitars?
right?
Don't forget this. That's right. This is just this pickup is just a tester to make sure that the whole works.
Mm-hmm. But it is hand wound.
It is hand wound. If anybody's interested in this, let me know. Oh yeah, you can dig how slim and trim it is.
And light.
Show the headstock.
Look,
No, don't show the headstock.
I can pick it up with one hand.
Don't show the headstock. So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about some of our favorite guitar players. And are there any people that have already chimed in on that?
Yeah, Bullwhip Johnson.
Bullwhip Johnson
Says his current favorites are Jimmy Bruno, Marshall Harrison, the late great James Calvin Wilsey.
I have no
I know
idea
who
any of
James
those
Wilsey
people
is.
are.
That's a sad story.
What's the story?
He died.
Oh, well, okay.
He was a severe alcoholic.
Yeesh.
Oh,
And he was Chris. No, I think we're still going.
Well,
no, you're seeing the camera. The feed is gone. I think you scheduled it for 4:30.
no, I didn't have an end time.
It looks like it's
So-
still going. It says live
So-
up here.
sometimes,
we're back.
yeah, sometimes it okay.
Yeah.
Terry Steven saw it.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry about that, everybody. I don't know
Just
where
a blip.
we cut off, but there's been a blip in our service, and we're back.
Mhm.
We're better than ever, baby.
It had to be clear.
Fucking aliens. So, Chris, who are some of your favorite guitar players? Who's one of your favorites?
Why don't you talk about some of your favorite guitar players?
Well, I'm gonna go in a different direction than you might think.
Okay.
So what is the name of the actual video, Carrie Ann? This is our favorite guitarists. I think it is, or our favorite guitar players.
Yeah, it's not my fault.
So some of my favorite guitar players, I want to talk about guys who I actually know.
Hmm.
Not necessarily guys who, I think are badass rock and rollers. Although pretty much everybody who I'm about to talk about is a badass rock and roller. So some of my favorite guitar players are, of course, Brian Nutter is one of my favorite guitar players.
Your new boy, Cross.
That's right. So Brian we're looking forward to going down and hanging out with Brian at the show. We're going to be a few booths down from him. But Brian is, of course, a monster guitar player. And if you don't believe me, just ask me. I'll tell you. No, you can just look up, Brian Nutter guitar on YouTube, and you'll find all kinds of good stuff. Brian is very, very accomplished, and he's a really cool guy. You know what I mean? So, and it's one of those things. Now I'm going to talk about one of my other favorite guitar players, who's actually a bass player, but a very excellent guitar player, and that's Brad Davis from Fu Manchu. We built some guitars for Brad, and really excellent guitar player and a really excellent guy. And he was one of those dudes who, sometimes when you meet your favorite guitar players and stuff like that, they're not as cool as you think. And Brad is absolutely positively not that guy. He's a really down to earth dude, super cool guy, and a monster player. He owns Creepy Fingers effects pedals. Give those guys, if you're looking for the ultimate in super cool fuzz, Brad Davis at Creepy Fingers is the man. He will hook you up. If you think your band is fuzzier than Fu Manchu, you better have a really fucking fuzzy band, baby, because that's, yeah. So, some of my other favorite guitar players are my guitar player, Brett Hagen, one of my very favorite guitar players. Brett has, it's like, sometimes, Brett's like, blah, 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 blah. His mind works so fast that he can't spit words out fast enough. But I remember, hey, I played in a band with Brett for going on 12 years now. And I could say, hey, Brett, you remember that song that you wrote 12 years ago that we played one time at practice? And he'll just play it. You mean this? And it can't be that vague, but his ability to recall material and his ability to, just do wacky stuff on stage, everything about Brett. Brett is one of my all-time favorite people in the whole world and one of my all-time favorite guitar players. So, Yeah, but there's more. But I don't want to hog the microphone.
Well, that was your 3, right? You said you're going to list 3.
No, we'll list however many there are. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You got it?
I like so many different guitar players, and I like so many different ones for different reasons. And throughout my life, I'd like, oh, he's my favorite, and this guy's my favorite, and that guy's my favorite. And then I move on from there, or I get into a new genre or something like that.
Well, so what are some examples?
Well, I've had all the standard guitar heroes. I loved Stevie Ray, still like Stevie Ray.
Yeah.
Billy Gibbons. Eddie Van Halen constantly amazes me.
Who would win in a battle of I'm cool? Billy Gibbons or Samuel L. Jackson? It's a matchup.
I don't know. I recently watched some ZZ Top interviews or Billy Gibbons interviews, and then I saw Sam Jackson on like the Today Show the other day, and he was super cool there too. He was
both those dudes,
talking about making movies. He doesn't make how many per year. He makes how many per season, and just just dumb and so. But Billy Gibbons is like the consummate Texas gentleman every time I see him, and he's just
what you hear. Everything about that guy is just classy.
I'll bet nothing phases him either. You know, you're talking to him and he's just whatever, man.
Well, what could phase that guy?
Well,
I mean, what are you gonna throw at him that oh no.
Yeah. We were in the shop the other day. We were listening to Van Halen, "Women and Children First" and "Fair Warning" back to back, and it was almost like I was hearing "Fair Warning" for the first time. There was so much stuff, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" You know, it's just So, and then I have all my I'm into surf music, so I have all my surf guys that I.
Who's the Dick Dale's probably like the most well-known surfer.
Oh, definitely the first. Yeah. And I was into Dick Dale big time for a long time, and then I started trying to play more surf, and then I realized I couldn't play like Dick Dale. Nobody can, and I had to find some other heroes to try and emulate in that genre. Because
do you think Dick Dale realizes
was just
how much influence Middle Eastern music, or how much of an influence Middle Eastern music had on surf music?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I think I've seen interviews where he talks about it. I don't know. I mean, that's he was Lebanese. His parents.
Oh well, that's why. That's why. I didn't know that.
Yeah, first generation.
Okay, so he probably comes from a background of lots of that kind of, I'm going to call it angular.
He talked about hearing all of that stuff, and
that's cool.
And so
speaking of people that all of my favorite guitar players I'll never be able to play, like, with a couple of exceptions, and one of them is I was really, really big into the Ramones when I was a youngster, and I still am, and I'm not a youngster anymore. But man, I am one of the world's crappiest guitar players. But I can move one chord around the neck and play downstrokes. I used to be really good at it. Now I'm not so great at it. But I always loved the Ramones. A lot of respect for the Ramones and Johnny Ramone. If you have ever tried to play 45 minutes of Ramone songs in front of people under lights, you know why he's as badass as he is. But I never got to meet him. I never got to meet Johnny Ramone.
That might have been one of those.
It might have been, yeah.
From what I understand.
I've heard that too.
But maybe not. Maybe it depends on the context that you meet him.
But you know who I have met? I have met Jim Fuller. And I'm very proud to say that Jim Fuller is a friend of mine. And he's a great guitar player. Jim Fuller is another one of my favorite guitar players. Wow, there's
what other names might you know Jim Fuller by?
Jim Fuller? Why would I? We need to do something with that. You guys see that?
Yeah.
It's coming in. Hold on, I'm gonna fix that. Chris, will you vamp for a little while? You gotta go, dude.
Okay, so
I can do it.
I got it.
So some of my favorite guitar players are guys that it seems like they just play so effortlessly. It's just like from God to their hands to the guitar. It just happens. And you go to a show and the guy is so good and so into it.
Go all the way.
Okay.
And they even approach it like that. They're like, I don't even know how or why, it just happens. And the other people that I like aren't necessarily the most technical guys, like Matt was talking about. but they're just really into it and really proficient at whatever style they play.
Just hear something. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either. And I'm done vamping.
You can't be done vamping.
I kind of am. You should hold bow down to the future of guitars, Texas Toes.
Who said that?
Nobody.
Oh, I was gonna say. You know, some of my other favorite guitar players are Jeff LaQuatra. Is one of those dudes who like can play anything.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey Jeff, can you play the theme from the Muppet Show? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I had to learn that once for a job.
Yeah.
That's the funny thing about Jeff too, because most people play music for their own enjoyment, and you know,
And I think Jeff does that in addition to.
and and he learns a bunch of music that he would never play.
Yeah.
Because he needs to get paid, and because that's what the job requires.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he'll pass up on a job that would be fun to play because it won't pay him enough to do it.
What about Bart McCrory?
Bart's a punk.
He is a punk. and you guys have seen, if you've watched any of our videos, you've seen Bart play, and he is so unassuming. And then you watch him, and it's like, where did that come from?
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Well, and the funny thing about Bart too is he can just come in. It doesn't matter what time of day, when it is. It could be freezing outside. He comes in and just
he's ready to go. Yeah. He's ready to go.
Just on fire, and then
and
then he'll go, oh, I need to warm up for a minute. Okay, now I'm good. Yeah, you're just like, God.
I need to alternate pick and sweep pick.
Yeah.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay, now I'm ready. Yeah. So we are really, really fortunate here at the shop to have a boatload of awesome guitar players who I respect a lot and are some of my favorite guitarists and some of my favorite people. So yeah, are there what we would like to know what you guys think
Well,
though.
people are telling you, but you won't.
I'm just going, so you got to chime in. Okay, here goes the light. Ready, go.
Well, first of all, a little sidebar.
Okay.
Gibson's getting accused of hacking the show for that little blurb that we
That's hilarious. Yeah. I think it was the Russian collusion. Let's look into
Russians.
that. Yeah, see if if there was any help from.
And Joseph Caswell says his favorite guitarist. Buck Dharma.
Oh yeah, good one.
Billy Duffy. John Christ.
I don't know.
I don't either. It might be John Christ.
No.
Christ. I don't know.
I still don't know.
Tommy Victor.
Okay.
Al Di Meola.
Oh wow, that's digging deep. You know, it's a little too highbrow for me to get it. Al Di Meola is so awesome of a player that I'm kind of like 3 chords and the truth is all I can handle. And I'm sure Al Di Meola could fucking school me on that shit too.
Yeah, there was a time when I was really into Joe Satriani and really enjoyed especially some of his early stuff. And then
So not surfing with him.
No, I like Surfing with the Alien. Yeah. And some other stuff. That was a different time in my life. And Carrie Ann's looking at me like I'm a weirdo. But
I just think it's weird because you didn't do those kinds of drugs, you know.
Oh, did you have to do those kind of drugs to
I did.
hang with that? But then Steve Vai came along and I was all excited because, you know, it's Satriani's student and and it was so above my head and so above me musically that I just couldn't wrap my head around it.
Some of those really acrobatic guys.
Yeah. Then the next Satriani album was like a Steve Vai album. And I was like, ah. Yeah.
There's 2 exceptions for me when it comes to acrobatics, and Paul Gilbert is going to be one of those guys who absolutely can do everything. Yeah. And the other guy is, if Jerry Sentel is watching, he's going to know Ike Willis, who was played guitar and sang with Frank Zappa. And Frank Zappa, I'm a huge Frank Zappa fan, and I never did any of the drugs that you have to do to be into Frank Zappa, but I totally love all of that stuff. So what are some other ones I'm missing that we're missing out on?
Okay, Rich Williams says Joe Bonamassa, and Boudreaux Guitar says Larry Carlton.
Joe Bonamassa is one of Mrs. Texas Toast's favorite guitar players. She's seen him at Red Rocks twice.
No, not twice.
She's seen him at Red Rocks 3 times. She loves him so much and has the sunglasses and everything. And it's actually a little bit off-putting how much she loves him.
Yeah. And Larry Carlton, I enjoy a lot of his early work with the Good Guys and the Challengers and Eddie and the Showman. he actually played with
Oh,
a
yeah?
bunch of surf bands early on.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's where he cut his teeth.
Hmm.
And there's actually some stuff that he came in and played lead with a bunch of the other guys. Usually he just played rhythm, and I think it's Wheelie McSidewalk and the Weirdos or something like that. And it's just this crazy. You can see where he's going at the time. He's starting to take off on the guitar.
That's funny.
And it's like, whoa, this is straight up 60s surf, except that lead player is really, really, really good and really advanced.
Who was the guy who played with Blue Cheer for like half of an album that was in the Fender
Randy Holden.
Some of his stuff is awesome. Even especially like his surf stuff, and then his either like right before Blue Cheer or right after Blue Cheer.
Yeah, he was in a band called Sons of Adam. I think that's what the Fender 4 morphed into. And Mr. You're a Better Man Than I was their big hit, and it's super heavy. And there were a bunch of guys that started getting really good really fast back then. Yeah. So
What else we got?
All right, Van Mosey says bye, Satch, Petrucci, Slash, and Prince.
Prince is definitely one of those guys who's not underrated, but rarely gets added to like the top 10. You know what I mean? It's always
It's not the first thing that would pop in.
Yeah, because he's so talented and can play so many things. Yeah.
I think the guitar was just one of many things that he did.
He could probably do the same awesome thing on a trumpet. Or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and he never really
a dozen things.
Yeah, he never really. Just never really bragged about it or anything like that. I mean, it was just okay. He plays all the instruments, and you think, oh yeah, that's cool, but you never really think about it and go, man, that's him playing the guitar on that. Yeah, that's cool. So I like a lot of country guys too, especially the old country guys.
Like who's your
Glenn Campbell.
Okay. That's for Richard Ryan.
Yeah,
if you're watching.
There's a lot of those guys that I really like too that don't necessarily play.
How do you feel about Nancy Wilson?
She's fantastic. Yeah, I know one thing about Nancy Wilson, and that's she has sold more Ovation guitars than anybody ever.
I think you and I can agree that Nancy Wilson's boobs have sold more Ovation guitars than Glenn Campbell's boobs.
I will agree with that. Yes.
I knew we could come to a common ground.
I will also agree with the idea that I have no idea what kind of guitar Nancy Wilson's playing.
I have no idea
when she's playing guitar.
Yeah.
She licked a guitar. I could not tell you what color the guitar was, what kind of guitar was, any of that.
Okay.
All I know is she licked a guitar, and I wished I was that guitar.
So there's some cuckoo-ness going on with the background here. Are you trying to
isolate the source of that static or whatever?
Oh, did you find it?
Sounds like it.
I don't remember.
It's still happening.
It could be. It's in the atmosphere.
Stuff going.
So what are some other guitar players that are people's faves?
Okay, so Mink,
you're better than that, Carrie Ann. You're better than that.
Okay, so Mink says bass player Bootsy Collins. And
sure.
Guitarist Ian Lemmy, Kilminster, and Brian May.
Wait. You mean Lemmy Kilmeister?
Oh. It was like
Lemming kill me later.
Between like lowercase and mostly capitalized, and I'm like, is that an L or an I?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so I love all those dudes. Lemmy Kilmeister he played bass in a way that was very much like a guitar. He played with a pick and he strummed a lot.
I saw
Brian May, talk about a monster player.
Yeah. I saw Phil.
Someone's calling in. We have our first call-in. This isn't even a call-in show. Keep vamping.
They're obviously not watching the live.
Keep vamping.
Why aren't they watching the live stream?
I don't know.
They watching the live stream right now.
Yeah. We're live streaming. Leave us alone.
Who is it?
I missed it. I don't know.
Do you have anything to add? I saw a video of never mind, because I can't remember who the story's about.
Was it about Brian May?
So Thin Lizzy, I saw a video of Thin Lizzy, and it was like a compilation of them doing a bunch of appearances, and they were doing Whiskey in a Jar. And Phil was playing bass on some of them, and he was playing guitar on some of them, and he had a mustache in one and not in the other, and people couldn't figure out that it was a bunch of clips of them playing the same song, and they were arguing about what kind of bass is that? That's not a bass, that's a Telecaster. You don't know what a bass looks like. I'm thinking, Yeah, this is dumb, but he was strumming the bass. He was playing chords.
So whoever that just called in, if you're watching, I missed the call. I'll call you after the live show. This isn't a call-in show. You can type in your thing. Maybe there's something so important that someone wants to be on.
Well, this thing has an enabling thing that we could have people call it.
It does?
I think so.
Wow.
you could
take
advice.
calls.
Yeah.
Color.
Yeah, like love line.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mhm.
Man, that would be.
I think so. That would be bedlam.
That would. I think it would be bedlam. Maybe it's the guys from Gibson.
You know, it's all I can do to keep up with comments. So I'll
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Ace Frehley. I love Ace Frehley.
Do you?
No, not really.
Sure. You don't like Ace Frehley?
I like Ace Frehley fine. I don't think he's yeah, he's fine. I don't really like lists. I don't like, music's not a competition. It is, but it isn't.
Yeah, Goslin Creative said Ace Frehley, not technically brilliant, but that tone.
Well, and he, some of the stuff that, like, you can't deny his contribution. You know what I mean? And how many people he influenced and some of the great stuff that came after.
Yeah.
Because of Ace Frehley.
Well, and sometimes, I can like the band, but not necessarily think the guitar player's tone or his sound or what he's doing is all that great, but still like the band. And I guess I can kind of go the other way, but I don't like to just focus on the guitar player. I like to focus more on the whole of the band.
Yeah.
And whether the guitar player is doing what he should for the band, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. Are you showing off because you're an
Yeah.
awesome guitar player, or are you showing off because you're a member of the band and you make the song sound good? And that's, there's so many guys who do both, and it's equally impressive sometimes, and it's equally boring sometimes, depending on who it is.
Mhm.
So what else you got?
Well, Keith Meredith has too many to list, but wants to offer up Yuli Roth.
John Roth. Okay. With a 36 fret guitar. No, he has this crazy guitar. Jeff LaQuatra saw him at the Oriental Theater, and he said it was so loud that he had to leave, and he was really disappointed because he couldn't hear how awesome of a guitar player this guy was, because he was just being crushed by volume. Because I guess people expect that. I guess. So what was the deal? He was in UFO, and I mean, those guys had some monster songs and some monster tours and played, with like way more gear than they needed in like certain places. And I think it was just like we just have to annihilate people with our sonic assault. And I think that was what I'm getting at is, I think that's what happened when Jeff saw him at the Oriental Theater. They had way more shit than they needed, and he was refused to dial it back for whatever reason.
We know local bands that do that.
I was
Indeed, we do.
Think of
Yeah.
the same person who has an Easter egg inside their
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
too.
Yeah, and it's you're gonna have 40 people show up to your show, and you're gonna have
a full stack of Marshalls and a Fender Super Reverb, all dimed in a room that's a tough shit. Anyway, it was so loud I couldn't hear drums or bass. I couldn't hear a full SVT or drums.
What about the tambourine?
Couldn't hear the tambourine. What a waste. What else you got, Miss Thing?
Bruce Garner offers up Peter Frampton, Zach Wilde, James Hetfield, and Guthrie Govan.
Guthrie Govan?
And I don't know why I'm so surprised at the James Hetfield.
Well, James Hetfield is an awesome guitar player.
That's what I said. I don't know why.
Some of my favorite guitar players are rhythm guitar players.
Absolutely.
Guys that don't necessarily get their rightful due.
Well, and for as much as
they add
to
it.
Much as I like Angus Young, there's no way that I could play like he did. But I could aspire to be as good of a good rhythm guitar player as Malcolm was.
And it would be hard.
And it would be hard.
And everybody talks about without Malcolm, Angus wouldn't sound like Angus. Because he's right on top of it. And there's a bunch of guys that really add a whole lot that you don't even realize it until you decide you're going to learn that rhythm part. Shit. Yeah. Wow, that's impressive.
And I think those guys, if you were to put a metronome, they might not be locked in, but man, they're locked in with the drummer and the bass player, and it sounds right. And
they're locked in with somebody. I love those.
I
love those. Like the Van Halen solo track stuff, and you listen to it, and you're like,
that ain't right.
Yeah,
but it's dead on. Yeah.
So that stuff's fun.
Well, one of Happy Ad's favorites is Leslie West.
Ooh, one of my favorites too. Yeah.
Soap Bar Blues says Richie Kotzen,
Mhm.
the late Bugs Henderson.
Bugs Henderson was, I want to say, a Texas guy. I want to say, and I didn't even know that he died. Am I right if I say that Bugs Henderson is a Texas guy? Chime in and let me know. Yeah. How do you feel about Joe King Carrasco?
I'm good.
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Joe King should play one of the Texas Toast guitars.
Mm-hmm. You know who else should play one?
Samantha Fish.
Billy L.
Billy L. does. Yeah. Maybe we'll unveil the Billy L. Henshaw model at the 2018 Summer Jam.
That would be a good idea.
Oh, yeah. Well, Billy L. has a signature. Sure. Sure.
Okay, so Mike Chambers says Pete Thorne,
Mhm.
Eric Giles, Sam Colson, and Steve Ray Vaughan.
I wish I knew. I'm such a musical moron. And Mrs. Texas does thank you for not jumping on that one and saying no, just musical. But she went whoa. Yeah, there's so many people that are great that I don't know. Like if I heard it, I'd be like, that's who that is. Yeah, because I'm not exactly well versed, but I'm going to check out these guys who you guys are telling me about too. So, what else we got?
Gosling Creative also added Gary Moore is technically brilliant.
Oh yeah.
And Eddie Van Halen, of course, changed guitar forever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What about there's so many. It's hard to put your finger on it.
Yeah, and if you like even just more than one style of music,
mm-hmm.
it's gets hard to keep track of how many great players there are. There's so many people that play well and that do cool stuff.
Here's a depressing follow-up on the James Wilsey.
Okay.
Apparently he contracted hepatitis,
mm-hmm.
and the medicine he was taking for it affected his ability to perform.
Oh, that
so he
sucks.
was fired from the Silvertones,
mm-hmm.
and eventually died from liver failure caused by hepatitis A.
Mm-hmm.
That's the sad story I think you were dancing about.
Yeah, I think you were saying.
Yeah, I read a big long article, and he ended up homeless, and
that was a bummer.
It was really ugly. So yeah, we'll just
leave
it at that. Talk ill of the dead.
I am obviously not going to be able to name everybody who are local guys who I know, but another great player, of course, is Paul Shalhoub.
Yeah,
and Paul's an awesome guitar player, and he designed this logo.
Mm-hmm.
In case you didn't know that. Who else? Who else you got?
Oh, so Jeffrey Telmo says that Keith Richards will outlive all your favorite.
I know, right?
And Gosling Creative says Brian Setzer keeps getting better with age, and ditto for Paul Gilbert.
Paul Gilbert, yeah. And you know what? Brian Setzer, too. Awesome guitar player. And so
mm-hmm.
tasty.
Yeah,
tasty.
Yeah.
Happy adds Fast Eddie Clark.
Ooh, Fast Eddie. Didn't Fast Eddie Clark die? I want to say that everybody
in that band confused for some reason.
Everybody who was in the classic Motorhead lineup, Filthy Phil, Lemmy, and Fast Eddie, I think they're all dead. I don't know. But that Say What You Will was a great song, that Fastway song. Yeah.
And Joseph Caswell also says Scooter Barnes. Mike Make Guitar says Paul Gilbert.
Scooter Barnes. Don't I know Scooter Barnes?
Like personally?
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. Anyway.
Oh, apparently I got much mouthy or something. I think I didn't hear me.
Oh, okay.
All right. The Dirty Knobs, Roger McGinn.
Mm-hmm.
Dirty Knobs again, Clarence White.
Ooh.
PJ Wright says
you can't just name guys from the Byrds.
Rick Nielsen.
Oh, Rick Nielsen, another great. Yeah. What would be cool would be have like a ZZ Top and Cheap Trick traveling guitar museum and tour.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you would pull that off, but that'd be super cool.
Mink says Mason Williams.
Who's that?
Yeah, he did the song Classical Gas.
Oh, okay.
He's a That's right in my wheelhouse. Don't know why I feel good about that.
What about Chris Spedding, Minx? Are you into Chris? Motorbiking. Awesome song.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much music that I have never heard that I'm sure I would love. But,
oh yeah.
But I don't have anybody to necessarily turn me on to it
or
anything like that.
We've got 17 hours one way on the road to Nashville.
But I'll bet you 6 of that is filled with Hair Nation on Sirius satellite radio, and we'll listen to all the W bands.
You get only 6?
At least. Let's just go with that, because I think we'll also listen to.
You know what I listen to more than any other station on Sirius is the old time radio like stuff where they have like visitors from another planet and like shit like that. I think it's cool.
Okay, now Gibson's
There's somebody at the door.
Well, that's probably going to be the next thing now, since people are saying that Gibson was trying to call.
I don't know. Yeah, I think
their wiretaps working.
Yeah, I think it was.
Is this on? Yeah. Jeez, man.
Happy Ad says Randy Rhoads.
Oh yeah, how can we forget Randy Rhoads? Yeah.
And Gosselin Creative said Brad Paisley is a master of the Telecaster.
Mm-hmm.
Brad Paisley really should play one of our Fabric Top guitars.
When he's not playing his Fender.
Yeah, when he's not playing his Fender.
He also has a bunch of, I think, Hans.
Does he?
That are
really?
Fabric Top. Yeah, I think
that are Fabric Top.
Not Fabric Top.
Paper. Okay, but they're not bound, right?
I don't think they are.
Dude, I don't think I don't think we like started the whole like Paisley with binding and fabric and everything, but we did a boatload of them, and they were really fun and really cool.
Yeah.
And if anybody else besides Brad Paisley wants one, let me know. And Brad Paisley, what I mean is, I don't know what the hell I mean.
You mean Brad Paisley probably won't want one, but that shouldn't stop somebody else.
It shouldn't stop you from wanting one, because I bet you Brad Paisley would want one.
I totally want one.
He'd probably want one free. Yeah.
Well, maybe we can get him and Eli to do a commercial for for the shop. That'd be cool. I like Eli.
We are almost out of the good beer. We're gonna have to switch to the other, the really canny tasting beer.
Ooh, it's like sucking on a copper penny.
Yeah. What's your favorite guitar solo, Chris?
Once again, I don't listen to music as a lot of people, I think, listen to music as music solo.
Yeah.
Music, and I listen to the whole of it. So I'm not really keyed in on solos too much. I like the solo to beat it. I think that's pretty amazing little
every single time it comes on. If I haven't heard the solo yet, I'll listen to the whole song the rest of the way through, and that's the I Love Rock and Roll song. The solo is so awesome. It's so simple and so awesome. I'm like, that's the greatest solo in the world.
Yeah. The whole
everybody will disagree with me, but I love that one.
The whole idea of songs and that for the longest time it had to have a guitar solo in it. Yeah. And that goes back to I don't know when that started. It was big in swing. It's big in everybody gets their turn. And
it probably happened
and all
when
that.
the guitar was amplified.
Well, yeah, but
they
had
do your thing.
They had the horn. You had your horn solos in swing music, and you had your everybody got their shot. And I think that's why you have rhythm and lead. Labeling on stuff.
That's why Les Paul says rhythm and treble.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what that switch fucking does. You have to have it say something. I don't get that. I don't get the poker chip on the Les Paul. Having said that, if I was able to run Gibson for one day, that would not be something I would eliminate, because everybody wants that. But you know what that fucking switch does.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
Yeah. Those aren't opposite things.
No.
Black and pickle. What?
Are there any other questions or comments?
Yeah, there's quite a few. Terry GG&G said an overlooked guitarist is Roy Clark, and then also offers that Boudreaux guitarist that's pretty unknown.
Ken is a great guitar player, and if you haven't heard him, you should tune into Ken's channel. And every so often, while he's not making cool stuff, he's playing cool stuff that he made. So yeah, check Ken out.
Bam Mosey said Ralph Macchio. Is that the Karate Kid?
Yes, it is. And Ralph Macchio totally blew Steve Vai out of the water.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that stupid movie.
With the hat and the pig nose.
That was
What's the name of that movie?
Crossroads.
Crossroads.
That was a great movie.
God, not to be confused with Britney Spears' Crossroads. Oh man, that's funny. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Ralph the Macchio.
Oh, got confirmation that yes, Bugs was a Texas player.
I want to say that. Yeah, I didn't know that he died. I'm sorry to hear that.
Nigel Tufnell.
Ooh,
We pretty much just stopped the show now, right?
pretty much. Yeah, that pretty much is the end
pinnacle.
all, be
And I'm
all.
surprised it didn't come up beforehand. Before this, yeah.
What else we got?
Richard Grant says Terry Cass. Who's that? Do you know who that is?
I don't. We really need like a music nerd like Brett here to geek out with these guys. He knows all these people, and
Doesn't know everybody though.
No, that's right.
I never heard of that guy.
That's
he couldn't have
right.
possibly. Well, let's see. He was only
That's
the major influence in the entire nation.
Maybe
but that's
what we
okay.
should do is do our review of the top 100 guitar players in a live podcast one day.
That would be.
It would be a fucking train wreck.
Yeah, just a shit show.
But
it might be entertaining. We might be able to.
Let me know what you guys think of a
wrangle
live
everybody
podcast
in.
of the top 100 guitar players as chosen by Rolling Stone magazine. We made some videos on this, and they were basically unpublishable. They were so bad. But yeah,
Oh yeah, those did go.
And
they were
and
awful.
feelings got hurt really fast.
Oh yeah.
And frankly, those lists totally sucked.
They sucked.
They were terrible.
Yeah.
It was Rolling Stone's top 100.
There were some very conspicuous absences and some like, why is that guy in there? And then
yeah. I mean, the one that always stuck out to me, and as much as I liked the guy and I liked his music, or I liked his music really,
Paul Simon.
is Paul Simon. Yeah, exactly.
And he was
like,
way up. Down on the wait. He was close to number. He was closer to 1 than 100.
well, yeah, and he shouldn't have been on the list at all.
No, yeah.
If we were talking songwriters, then yeah, okay.
Mhm.
But guitarists,
Yeah.
good lord.
So let me know in the comments if you guys would like to see that, and I'll have 2 or 3 other more guests. You know who we could get? We could get Ike from Flipside Music, and we could get Brett from Hawk Attack, and they were just ready, go.
Yeah.
So anyway, so let's talk a little bit about Carrie Ann. Are there any more things that we need to?
Well, there's a lot of other people.
We could sit here and talk
We
about
could do this
guitar
for
players and go,
hours.
yeah, I like them. Yeah.
I could.
Yeah. Or we could, we could talk bad about them. Bring up someone, and we'll talk bad about them now.
But I do have to bring up Hal Face just posted Lindsey Buckingham
Again.
Yeah.
Oh no! I not Lindsey Buckingham. Never mind.
You
Never
thinking
mind.
Leslie West?
I was thinking Leslie West.
Yeah.
He's another guy with a girl's name, isn't he?
Yeah.
Lindsey Buckingham.
Yeah.
No,
Lindsey Buckingham is an awesome player, though.
he made me feel my hormones for the first time.
Really? You got a little funny in the pants?
For what?
Lindsey
Hanging
Buckingham,
on.
he got, like, big, almost like afro hair, remember? And he had the trimmed beard.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yep.
that was the one.
Were you gonna like wrestle with Stevie
I
Nicks?
didn't know what to do about it. I thought, this is different.
So it
I
was
feel
it was
special.
him visually, not him musically.
Oh,
No,
everything.
It was his picture.
It was his picture on the album.
Mm.
Yes.
Oh.
Maybe trim up your beard, grow an afro.
I was
See what happens.
I was telling you today that if you didn't like your sunglasses, maybe you should try an afro.
Yeah, I think.
I don't know what that would,
help.
but I think if you had a great big fro, that would have been sweet.
Mm-hmm. And maybe a really shortly trimmed beard.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, who thinks that Chris should grow beard for the
No,
for
not
the
gonna
NAMM
happen.
show? No, okay.
No, it's not going to happen.
So let's talk a little bit about some of our industry partners before we go ahead and close
It's
this
the
up.
soundboard is on, I think.
The soundboard. It's not plugged. It's over there. Anyway, so I was talking with Cheryl at Bitterroot, and she has some cool new stuff. Remember, she still has Mighty Mite licensed Fender necks, $99 at Bitterroot, and if you type in code TXTOAST, you get those for 15% off.
Mm-hmm.
And she says that a lot of you guys have bought those on Sunday night, and she's very appreciative because she knows that you guys are watching the podcast. I got an order from Bitterroot, And I got some new tools and some new, little things that I need to test out and try around. So you guys will start seeing those a little more in the future. We've got 2 very exciting videos coming out this week, and they're all about paint, and they're all about Simtex Sealer. And I want to say, if I'm feeling really daring, maybe I'll do another video on the EBO Resto mod. So yeah, and I have to break out the copy carver. Maybe we'll do another video on the easiest way to carve a Les Paul top, because that was very popular.
And I'm glad that when you guys were talking about that it was finally determined that 2 was the right number, because they knew that
2 is way better
than copy
than
carver,
7.
and
yeah,
it's so much easier.
It is, yeah. So
with that,
you know what? Let's just go ahead and say that we'll do a video on the copy carver. Can you help me with that this week, Chris?
Yep,
okay, cool.
I can. Yeah.
So we'll do a video on the copy carver and carving the Les Paul top. Oh, maybe we should do more than. No, I'm just gonna do 2. I'm just gonna do 2. I'm not gonna do 16 of them like I did last time.
No, because that's something that we don't make anymore.
It really is not something that we make.
Well, we make them. Yeah. I'd like to introduce my industry partnership with Dunkin' Donuts. And if you go into Dunkin' Donuts and you say, "Hey, Chris sent me," they'll say, "We don't know who that is."
They will at Dunkin' Donuts, but they won't do that at Churro A Go Go.
No, they won't.
Brand new,
but they will do it at every single Dunkin' Donuts. That's my gift to you.
I really would like to start see if we can get Churro A Go Go.
Yeah, it's that new churro place down the street, right?
How hard would it be to get Churro A Go Go to sponsor the show?
You wouldn't think, yeah. What do they have there?
Just churros.
Just churros.
Yeah. But we do have a new. Okay, all right. If anyone's still watching, there is a brand new video series that we're going to start to do, and it's going to be doing guitar reviews from the standpoint of a guitar builder. That'd be me. And Ike from Flipside Music is going to bring over 3 guitars on tomorrow at 2:00. And you're not going to see all these videos at 2:00 tomorrow, but we're going to make all the videos. And it's just going to be me reviewing the guitars and measuring stuff and weighing stuff and just kind of showing you guys a little bit about guitars that you might not necessarily see in other people's guitar reviews. I'm not going to play them. I'm just going to talk about them and talk about the things that I think are cool and things that I think are not cool. And would I buy it if I were you? And how I think they fall in the metric of cool guitars. And Ike's going to bring those by. Some are going to be new. Some are going to be one-of-a-kind things that he just has. So that's going to be in conjunction with Flipside, the Great American Guitar Store, and that's coming soon to my YouTube channel. How do you feel about that, Chris?
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. How do you feel, Carrie Ann?
What are you talking about?
Nah. So I think we can wrap this up.
Still talking about guitars.
We got anything?
We have a couple suggestions.
I'm all ears.
Chris should do with his face pubes.
Oh.
Okay. So, okay, wait. Oh, so Joseph Caswell says that you should grow a chin strap.
What's that? Is that just this?
That's just
like the Amish kind of thing.
Yeah, that's definitely not what I need.
No, but it's like real tight.
I could have even more chins. Hey, thanks a lot, dude.
My Corvette's right outside.
Yeah.
And then
I'm not going to do that.
What a chooch.
And then Dirty Knob says that you should grow pork chops. I'm thinking you combine those two.
Chris can actually grow pork chops.
Yeah,
I cannot. Did you know that there's a gap between where my head hair starts and where my face hair begins?
Oh.
Like, and it's size. It's like a ½ inch gap.
It's like where your sideburns are supposed to be.
Yeah, that's why I don't have more beard up in this neighborhood. So, little known fact, but a fact nonetheless.
We didn't talk about this guitar.
Oh, let's talk about it.
Okay.
Is anybody still watching?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. So this is one of our Toast Right guitars. Yes. People are going to want to know what's the name of this stuff doesn't even have a name.
This guitar is named Orange Toast Right guitar.
Orange Porridge.
How about Penny Hofstetter?
How about it? So tell us a little bit about it, Chris.
What would you like to know, Matt? It's a Toast Right. It's got
what color
humbuckers. It looks. I would call it orange metallic, but I think the name of it is copper something.
It's darker than like orangey.
Yeah,
orange,
it's kind of a burnt orange.
Yeah, burnt sienna.
Burnt sienna. Yeah, and it's metallic and it's got pearl, and I think this was $90 orange.
It was really super expensive paint. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't realize just how expensive not the labor involved with paint is, but the
Yeah.
supplies involved with paint. So how much? It was like half a pint for almost $100 for this stuff. It's really
so it's got all sorts of extras in it. So it looks really, really great. It looks good here, but it's incredible.
Do you want to be cool or do you want to be super cool?
Yeah. And then it's maple neck. Some sort of dark wood rose.
It's got the pure juice humbucker. It's got our bridge.
Our bridge. Yeah, standard stuff, but it's really good, and it turned out really nice, and it's
and this one's going to NAMM.
Going to NAMM, baby.
Here's a good suggestion again about your face piece.
Right.
Is to grow a beard to raise money, and you should have people pledge like so many dollars or whatever for every like centimeter it grows.
Yeah, I can grow facial hair. It's pretty easy. I don't know that I could come up with anything in the next 30 days.
Maybe I should have like a GoFundMe,
anything.
and I'll cut my hair the more people pay.
Yeah.
Not everyone knows this, but Matt's hair is really, really long. You don't really see it very often.
Man, it looks so luxurious when you do that,
dude.
And it looks red, but it's not.
It does. Yeah.
It's
I should wear it like this more often, huh?
You really should.
You braid it and then you take it out and then you look all Jesus.
Yeah. But not Christmas Jesus. More
my
Easter
butt hair is
Jesus.
almost that long.
Your bottom hair is this long?
Well, when he gets in the shower, it'll like sometimes go like into his butt crack.
Great.
Yeah, it's true. That's when we have to cut it.
Yeah, that's how you know. That's how you know. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We're going to go ahead and wrap this one up. We're an hour and 16 minutes, and I think that's quite enough talk about this. But it was such a fun topic, and I think I'm glad everybody had a good time with it, and I hope that Mrs. Texas Toast put your comments to you know what I'm talking about. Yes, told us what you said and asked us what you did and did what you said and that sort of thing, right?
Mostly.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, there's a lot more comments that I can get to.
And there's a lot of commenting back with comments and stuff, so that's absolutely.
Well, you talk a lot, so then
I talk
have
way
much time
more.
to
Yeah,
say
it's kind of the point, right?
Anyone who knows me knows that. Yeah, you don't have to talk very much.
Yeah.
So
I enjoyed making fun of the Gibson guy.
I enjoyed making fun of the Gibson guy too, to a point, but I don't think he really deserves that much making fun of. I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure he's a cool guy. Maybe we'll find out. Maybe we'll find out if he's a cool guy or a dick. I don't
put
know.
yourself out there like that, you got to expect some kickback.
You do. You know what though? If you put yourself out there in any video, if you go out and say the sky's blue, there's going to be some. Yeah.
I saw, this has nothing to do with anything, but I saw the other day that, and I didn't even know, O.J. Simpson's out of prison, and he apparently lives in Arizona, and there was an article about how he's enjoying living in Arizona and not being part of the spotlight. And then today I read where he just posted his first Twitter post. I'm thinking that other article was bullshit, and why the hell would O.J. Simpson want to be a part of any spotlight at all? But he does. So yeah. See, so it was about nothing.
Anyway, so guys, thanks for watching and thanks for commenting. We will be here next week at 5 o'clock and bring you up to speed with what's been going on in the shop. I'm not sure what the topic's going to be yet, and maybe I'll get around to doing it at the very, very last second like I did today, or maybe we'll figure it out early in the week and you'll know well in advance. So anyway, thanks for watching. Chris, thanks for being on the podcast with me. Carrie Ann, thank you for working the boards and working your magic and doing your super sultry, sexy voice on the microphone there. And guys, this is Matt at Texas Toast reminding you that life is short. You might as well have a cool guitar. So thanks for watching, everybody. We need